What's happening, guys? Hope you've been well. This video is going to be about preventing injuries. And what I've done, mainly just the routines, but I guess you could say the three things that have prevented injuries for me. I see a lot of people saying warm up properly and spend a lot of time warming up, although that is extremely important. I think that you should definitely do that. There's a couple of things that's not really talked about too often. And one of those things is electrolytes, having in particular enough sodium in your bloodstream is really important for preventing injuries. There was a couple times where I was deadlifting a couple years ago and I warmed up properly. Probably I do like an excessive amount of warm-ups, and that would be around like 20 minutes or so of, either doing cardio plus the mobility things, plus all of the dynamic exercises and bands and using lacrosse balls. I still got minor tweaks in my hips on the sumo deadlift. Now, I'm pretty sure it's because I didn't really have any sodium for that day. I like to get at least half a gallon or so of water before I train. And it's not just water that will hydrate you, it's sodium plus water. How much sodium is going to depend on the person. Now, of course, potassium is going to be important too, but that's not as important as sodium itself. Magnesium, of course, all of the things that are important for hydration, that is going to be alleviating so much issues in your diet. But that's not really something I really see or hear talked about often, especially with trainers too. I am a personal trainer at a gym, and I don't see any trainer talking about this, which is kind of concerning, but that's why I'm doing this video, so I can give you guys the information that I think will prevent injuries. And you want to be safe while you're lifting, not lifting more weight than you really can. I've definitely done that too many times, and not every single time, of course, if I have enough sodium and enough electrolytes, drink enough water, and the form is good. Ego lifting hasn't always injured me, but it usually does. If it's like way too much weight and you're going for like a 1 rep max or something. 1 rep maxes are fun. They're really fun, but it's not really necessary to build muscle. And you can't really build muscle if you're injured, or if you have pains. There's a couple of people that I've seen in the gym that are also no longer in the gym. They're kind of like in the older generation, where they were just like incline benching all the time, and they're like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Like, well, and then I look at their form and it's like absolute terrible form on the incline bench. That's it sucks. Because I mean, whether or not the ego is like too high, I don't know. I mean, I talk to people. I like to give people information all the time, things that aren't really in the normal in this information that I'm giving to you is definitely not really talked about, and that's just concerning to me. It's something that is really important, because I think living a life that's pain free and not having those nagging pains in like your hips, your back, all of the common complaints that people have, a lot of it can be fixed by nutrition, also electrolytes, having enough water, and then also having the mobility like you're seeing right here in this video, done every day. And these are like, people just don't do these things. It's like, why not? It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to prevent muscle gain. It's not going to like wear you out before you go for your 1 rep max. If that's what you want to do all the time, that's totally fine. But I would just say, think about it. Like, why are you getting injured? Is it a combination of all these things, or is it like you just got to pay attention to these little tiny details, because they matter. They really do matter. When you like sit for too long, when you're sitting for like typically more than like 30 minutes at a time, an hour, couple hours, 4 hours. I get it. If you have a desk job, it's totally understandable. I mean, I try to get up like every 15 to 20 minutes or so, just because your hips get tight. They get really tight when you're sitting down for too long. And that means that you should probably be doing more mobility for the hips. You should be doing more stretching and longer stretching. And this isn't really what most people want to do, because it's boring, or they just want to focus on like building muscle or doing the latest like trend or fad thing that's being talked about. Like that's not going to make more than like 2% difference. I stopped taking pre-workout. Occasionally I'll take it, but I stopped taking pre-workout quite a long time ago, because it doesn't really impact my performance in a good way. All it does is, having a bunch of caffeine will raise your heart rate. It will dehydrate you, and it will make you more likely to do things that you wouldn't have done otherwise, such as lifting more weight than you can handle. I'm definitely guilty of all these things, which is why I'm telling you not to do that, because I don't like seeing people get injured. I don't like seeing people in pain constantly. And a lot of people have to go to the chiropractor, and that comes with its ups and downs. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing to do, but doing these like simple smashing with the lacrosse ball, even if it's for like 5 minutes a day, it's going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference on how you feel, and it's going to reduce the pain that you have. Wherever you have pains, you want to contract and relax, just kind of roll that area out, and do that every day. There's going to be a huge difference in how you feel. Every time that I stop doing this, my body just doesn't really feel like great. It's kind of like giving physical therapy to yourself. But lacrosse balls are like $2, like $5 on Amazon or wherever. A tennis ball wouldn't really work that well, but if you get one of those things, a lacrosse ball that's like hard, there's even those like 5-inch balls. Those are really useful, along with the bands, the closed bands, and do that and all the stretching positions. You should feel so much better.